Judge Napolitano, the president did not have a good day. I beg to differ. During former FBI Director James Comey's testimony before a Senate panel, he accused the Trump administration of defaming him and said comments made about his competency were lies, plain and simple. Although he stopped short of alleging President Trump committed obstruction of justice in the FBI Russia probe, it still was not a positive day for the president, according to Judge Andrew Napolitano. I don't know where this is going to go, Napolitano said. I think he sold out. The president did not have a good day. Napolitano said that Trump, who he's known for decades, will not take today's developments well. He suggested this may lead to the long-rumored clean sweep of staff in the White House. He added that Trump's personal attorney, Mark Kasowitz, did not adequately rebut Comey's testimony during a brief statement following the hearing. I don't believe that. I think he covered it really well. Trump lawyer, this is according to AP Politics, Trump lawyer denies the president pressured Comey for loyalty. Read the entire statement. Okay. And let's take a listen. I think Mr. Napolitano, Judge Napolitano, sold us out. Let's listen here.
The former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Comey testified that the president said, "I hope you can let this go." And even though the president used the word hope, Comey made it perfectly clear in testimony that he took it as a direction to drop the Flynn case.
They're still going to run with this.
The lawyer insisted the president never directed or suggested anything like that. Let's take it to the judge, Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Well, that's a he said.
Right.
But if he did say it?
Well, if he did say it, either because examining the credibility of the two of them, a neutral observer concludes that he said it, or because there are tapes and they bear out what Jim Comey said. The question is, what was his motivation? So if the president's motivation was, we've got more important things to do, conserve resources, the NSA leaks are worse than this, that's a legitimate order. But if the president's motivation was, I don't want you to go after Flynn because he's got some stuff on my friends and they have some stuff on me, that would be a corrupt motivation.
Look how they're spinning this. Oh, Judge.
That order into obstruction of justice. Now,
Judge.
the president cannot be indicted for a crime while he's the sitting president.
No, that would be Congress.
Correct. Congress would decide whether or not to proceed forward with anything, whether or not this rises to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors. The Supreme Court has never ruled on whether obstruction of justice is an impeachable offense. But in the Nixon impeachment, which did not mature into impeachment, as we all know, he resigned before there was any impeachment. In the Clinton impeachment, which by today's standards I think seems frivolous, but was an impeachment, both of those were based on obstruction of justice. So there is a general consensus in the legal community that a demonstrable case of obstruction of justice, interfering with a federal criminal investigation for a corrupt purpose, would constitute an impeachable offense.
Was that the most damning moment of the day in your mind?
No. In my mind, and you and I looked at each other because we were right here in this room. It seems like it was yesterday, but it was a few hours ago. The most damning thing was when Jim Comey suggested a quid pro quo. He suggested that the president basically gave him the impression, here's the quid pro quo, Jim. You want to keep your job as director of FBI? Lay off Flynn. That to me was new and was extremely damning, and quite frankly was not addressed by Mark Kasowitz, the president's lawyer.
I'm sure the president's most ardent supporters are running to Twitter immediately to castigate you for using the wrong words, but your point is very well taken because Comey kept saying this isn't about the words. This is what he was putting down, this is what I was picking up.
Right.
He's like, you do this, you can keep your job, you're not going to play with me, you're out. And sure enough, he got fired.
Yes, so that's the kicker. You follow all of this stuff with the firing, put it in a bow, and let Bob Mueller decide how serious is this. And as I said to you earlier on the broadcast network, Bob Mueller now wants to interview somebody. It's not if, but when. Donald Trump. Bob Mueller wants to question the president, much as this committee questioned Jim Comey.
Can you compel the president to testify in such a manner?
Yes.
How do you go about that?
Well, you'd have to give him a subpoena. Bill Clinton was compelled to testify in the civil. Right. Now, that was not in a criminal prosecution. That was in the civil case, the Paula Jones lawsuit against him. I don't know where this is going to go. The president did not have a good day, and his lawyer, whom I know, who's a very, very fine lawyer, in my view, did not adequately, in 3 minutes, rebut what Jim Comey took 3 hours to convey to the country. That impression that he conveyed is still out there.
Then there's the matter of what some are calling the leak, and it was not a leak. And for a number of reasons. When James Comey gave his information to his friend at Columbia Law to pass along to the New York Times so the word got out, that's not a leak.
No, that is not a leak because it's not classified material.
And he's not a government employee.
He's not a government employee. Comey's not a government employee. The professor's not a government employee. It was an impression that Jim Comey wrote. I'm holding up my iPhone. We now know he wrote it on a laptop from one of his conversations with the president.
So that everybody's all caught up in leaks now. Rather, to avoid the substance, one focuses upon the leaks.
Right.
But in this case, you can't call it a leak because it wasn't even a leak.
Correct. People tend to call a leak anything below the radar screen that makes its way to the media. But a leak...
Then everything's a leak.
Then everything's a leak. Right. We thrive on leaks being in this business. But a leak must be something that the leaker did not have the authority to give out, which is typically classified material, state secrets.
You used to visit with the president before he was the president.
I don't...
you know him pretty well. You've known him for decades.
Right.
How's he going to take this day?
Not well.
Really?
Not well. I know how strong and towering his personality is, and I know how strong his opinion is of his own ability to get things done. You may see that clean sweep in the West Wing that's been rumored for a long time from and after today.
You talking Sean Spicer?
Well, I know.
Jeff Sessions?
Yeah, well, that was a shock, too, to learn 3 days ago that his strongest supporter, his longest time supporter, his first supporter amongst Republicans in the U.S. Senate, person he probably talked to about becoming Attorney General a long time ago, is so disgusted with the way things are going that he offered to resign, and the president rejected the offer.
He didn't like that Jeff Sessions recused himself from this investigation, though by every legal standard he had no choice.
It's a decision that only he can make. He can undo it today. With a hard and fast recusal, but that would cause the president even more political headaches.
I think Judge Napolitano is not correct here because there was no Russian investigation on Trump, and Comey said that. But he didn't say it to the media that there was no Russian investigation into Trump. This is all bullcrap, and I think Judge Napolitano sold us out. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.